And we're live. Hello, everybody. You see, Tom is joining us live from the floor of Airtable Leaders Conference 2023 with the best looking Airtable pillow I've ever seen.
It is. There's a lot of energy here at the Leaders Forum. It's the first, I think, of many to come, but just incredible product announcements and just a lot of energy and a lot of fun faces to meet here.
Awesome. Well, sounds like you've got some exciting stuff to share because you're live there without doing anything that'll get you in trouble because you're leaking secret things. What can you talk about for Airtable that's new and developing?
There's a whole bunch of things I can't talk about, but there's a couple things that I can. One of which I'm really excited about. Airtable AI coming out. Of course,
Ooh.
AI being a topic we've talked about a lot.
Oh, yeah.
The implementation here is important to note. So instead of a chat-based, hey, build me an Airtable base that does this, that, and the other thing, actually adding it as a dedicated field. And allowing that field to have different settings and relate and pull information from others. So the tactic is a lot more focused on existing users and deepening existing use cases and layering in AI as an additional field, as opposed to the land grab of, hey, let's get everyone who can talk in a chat interface and try to create a new base based off of that AI. So I think it's a really intentional and really good initial use case for Airtable AI, and we'll see the live demos, and it's going to be interesting to see how it gated, right? How do they charge for it? Roll out to users. Right now, it's only available for enterprise accounts. So if we have access and all access starting today, exciting. But if you're on your own Airtable instance, it's going to take a little while for that to proliferate throughout all of the other account types.
Gotcha. Well, definitely as one of Airtable's, I don't know, most favored nations, whatever. Like, I know they like you a lot because you build cool stuff. I'm imagining that one, it's super cool to get access to the tool, but now also there's some pressure on because they're going to want to see what you build with it.
Mm-hmm. It's ironic because last couple of months we've spent a lot of time actually creating bases that leverage OpenAI directly, right? In summary, legal, in class notes, and the like. Those are based off of Airtable bases, where we're actually sending a column worth of information to and returning it in a dedicated column. So the fact that we're going to be able to do some of that logic directly in Airtable without needing to call OpenAI, it's just going to make our building process that much. I'm really happy to see it.
Awesome, yeah. So, all right. Anything else interesting that you think is worth sharing from what you've done at the trade show today?
Yeah, I think there's two things. One is their two-way sync. So sync the table between multiple bases. That's going to be really useful. People that have multiple bases, and the base is huge. There are very big companies here. You see Instacart, VMware, and span both content and marketing use cases and product and engineering use cases. So, I was actually talking to some different people on the Airtable team from public relations or analysts or whatever, and the reframing of what Airtable does and can do for teams is a real discussion. And it's exciting to see so many real enterprises using it. And they're actually they're doubling the record limit. So right now it's 200,000 rows inside of an enterprise Airtable base. And they're doubling that to 100,000. And there's even plans to 100x to 500,000. Would be pretty incredible if they can do that in some time horizon, right? Yeah. So they're really positioning themselves to be able to handle as use cases for thousands of bases inside of an organization. And there's examples of people today that have thousands of bases inside of their enterprise. DC was talking about it today on stage. So and even the CEO Howie is here. He had a really interesting chat with Scott Belsky from Adobe, talking about product and how AI to design an interface to really design a UX for the end user who's going to sort of harness the power of AI as opposed to wave them for them. It's the way is to really amplify the expert and to be able to give them much more time back instead of pixel push, as Scott Belsky said, able to focus a lot more on creativity that gets by using these tools and putting the AI access in very intentional places throughout the app. So it was a very, very exciting morning for sure.
Awesome. Cool. You have any good business conversations with people? Don't name
A
names,
couple.
just like yes or no.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome.
it was hard not to when you have a buffet of poke. It was like good
Yeah.
food here.
Oh,
And so everyone was
nice.
in a good. There's a barista here. There's a lot of. It's just like it's good stuff. So it's been easy to
Awesome.
have conversations. Everyone's happy to be here. And
In-person
I think
events.
the
Who
energy of being
who
no, right? Like I was telling somebody today, like I think I've been to a conference in New York in over 2 years. So it was just
something happened.
to
I
see
don't know
people and
why.
say hi. I have been calling it times.
Yes, we have a new landmark in our calendar. For there's BCE and then there's just BC.
Yeah. Well, Trevor, what's going on with you? It's a normal Wednesday here at the office for you. What's exciting in your world?
Relatively. So two things I think worth talking about. One is we may not have time because my calendar is tight. Yours is too. We can talk next time about some reporting on what happened with class notes, and we've run some out. We've got some results to share. I've got some hard
Exciting.
numbers. I actually did discuss them in a webinar I did with Founder Institute. But what is that? It might be worth real quick talking about those as well. Just kind of what
Sure.
we've seen come out of our and let me pull into presentations here. There we go. What we've seen from the campaigns we have been running, and I have this one. So let me share my screen here.
Boom.
Share and here. And this is, I'll share this entire screen here. Boom. Now, as I mentioned, this was part of a larger um, webinar I ran for for FI, which, by the way, we got about it was pretty well attended. We had a couple hundred people attend the webinar live, and there were probably double, triple that number actually registered. That's always nice to see. But what I wanted to pull up here was this reporting, right? So I did a case study. Basically, what I was talking about was using Facebook ads to launch the thing you built. And then I mentioned, by the way, I built a thing. Well, no, I didn't build a thing. I launched a thing that Tom built. Uh, and just talked about these two, right? Summary, legal, and class notes. And then what we saw, discussed kind of what we had done for each of them, the ads we ran, what we were doing, and then overall performance and results here, right? So on summary.legal, and we've talked about this a while back, right? We had for under 1K ad spend, got almost half a thousand people, got featured in 3 AI newsletters, ended up with 4 actual like human leads come out of it, each of which has an ACV of probably over 50K. But they're all big enterprise-ish deals. That'll take a long time to close. Sales conversations are happening very slowly. Compare
Takes
that
time.
to what we did for class notes, right? Spent half that in ad spend, got way more visits, got in one AI newsletter, got I think 5 or 6 people to actually like get into the sign up process and with a way lower ACV. Now, both early stage tests, both kind of the beginning of building out a funnel. One thing super obvious to see, right, is despite being the same product, they had extremely different audiences and ways to go to market. That difference in, for example, your cost per visit, right? We were spending $2 a visit for lawyerish looking people, as opposed to what is that, like 40 something cents a visit per student looking people, and but had, on the other hand, way better like interest on this page than we did on this page. Really suggests, okay, one, very possibly everything about the pitch we did for class notes was just not correctly aligned because the students weren't hopping on and going, oh, let me start the demo process. Whereas for less traffic, we got more interest from the legal team, and the value, of course, is much higher. But that's a pretty good example of. I mean, again, speaking of Airtable with AI built in, this was something that you had built, you were able to pull together pretty quickly, and that you saw useful internally. And then we said, how do we put this externally as well? The ability to take these pieces of AI and see them through what you're doing, put them into your toolkit in anything you're building with Airtable or beyond, allows someone to productize and start to see, right? Total spend was 1,100, not even 1,200 bucks across both of these products, and already one, I think, got some feedback as to which audience might we wish to go after more next. And of course, we still have MinuteMaster and Pottery.tech to launch pretty soon too. And when both of those go live, we'll have a lot of data points to figure out what is the right way to continue to develop this further. What do we see that has more promise, and what do we see that has less?
Well, what is it's are going to allow us to do is go even faster than we've already been going, and to build more efficient architecture where, like, we've been very loose with how these prompts get generated for
Mm.
specific use cases, right? If you reframe the, hey, summarize this letter, and you really fine tune that specific prompt, you can get a much better and deeper response. So as we
Yeah.
talk about these other tools that are going to need really to refine the prompts over time, our ability to do that now with some of these update tables is just going to be even greater. So that we're able to just be intentional and be really hyper specific with how AI can inject into all these different use cases. So it's, I think, an exciting day for everybody because, yeah, you're right, Trevor. We still got a lot of building to do so that you can, be, beating the drum and trying to get these products in front of people.
Yep. I agree. I think I'll table for next time. I have a demo I was going to give how in 10 minutes writing a 1,500 word blog post with some help from AI gets real easy, right? And speak specifically to the idea of don't use your generic prompts and how to write some customized prompts to develop things, and then how to use other tools than just ChatGPT to do better writing. I've only got a few more minutes left, and you, of course, have to get back into your trade show. So we can table that till next time you and I have a live stream in 2 weeks. But any last thoughts you want to share from X-Ray.Tech, from the show? Anything else interesting you want to chat about?
Well, I'd just say, a product that we haven't talked about much is X-Ray.Tools.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, that's been a really interesting topic for us internally. We actually just added support for another automation provider, Bardeen. .ai, which is a not super well known automation platform, but has some really interesting features and overlap with existing automation providers like Zapier, Make, and Workato. So, check out xray.tools if you're curious about what your existing set of tools can actually do when it comes to automation. That's been a super hot topic here as we're looking at Airtable integrations across the automation providers. So we're up to, Zapier, Make, Workato, and now Bardeen, and support for N8N, which is a hosted version of Zapier, is in the works. So we're going to add that support over the next couple of weeks as well. So it's going to be a really interesting, just cross section of information to figure out what can you automate with the tools you already use. So hopefully that can be helpful to the non-technical people that are listening to this. Just add your tool and see what's. What about you, Trevor?
Awesome. I think one thing I'll shout out about here. Um, right now, I'm doing a go-to-market course with Founder Institute. I mentioned it's live at fi.co/bootcamp/go-to-market. I think there's only 7 seats left. and it's an early bird pricing still. It's at $3.99. I think the early bird discount runs until the 20th, so we have 10 days left to take advantage of it. This runs through basically everything about how to build $1 million funnel, how to write the ads, design the ads, make the landing pages, make sure everything's aligned, do the reporting, and then actually it has you execute one, and then 2 weeks later come back and I'll do a live one-on-one with everybody. These are effectively, these workshops are ones I was doing at some events here in town and also in Europe, and charging $2,000, $3,000 per attendee for. So getting that for $3.99 is Jonathan Greachin convinced me to bring the price down a bit, because he was like, this needs to be more FI friendly. So I'm a big fan of FI. I've been mentoring there for years and years. So this is, if somebody who's watching this live or close to and still has time to register before the 20th, right? 400 to get this workshop. I think it will be very useful for early stage founders to get a lot of insight on how to build, how to launch, how to do exactly what we did with Summary Legal and Class Notes, and we'll be doing more of over the next few months, but with the feedback and guidance of somebody who's done this a whole lot before. So awesome. I think that's it for me. Tom, where do people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn at Tom Nassr or xray.tech. And yeah, we're X-Ray Automation on YouTube and everything. That's us.
Oh yeah, didn't you just cross like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube?
I think at the time of this recording, we're at like 998, maybe. I could check that. But yeah, I know. If only someone would subscribe who's right now who hasn't subscribed yet.
So,
maybe we'd hit that
you
1,000
listening
mark.
right now, subscribe. Or I'll just go make 2 accounts real quick and sign up. There you
That's
go.
not how that
All right.
works.
I think it is. It should be fine. So awesome. I'm, of course, on LinkedIn as well, Trevor Longino. You can find me at crowdtamers.com and on Twitter at twitter.com/Trevor Longino. Thanks, everybody, for the time today. We're keeping this one short and sweet. Tom has stuff to go to, and I do too. We'll see y'all in 2